Good afternoon, everyone. Everyone is requested to please maintain the decorum. The convocation is about to start, and those who don't have the mask, they can collect it from media desk. Please maintain the decorum. Guest has arrived. Please rise to receive the academic procession and remain standing till they are seated. Mr. Suresh Narayanan, Chairman and Managing Director, Nestle India. Chairman Fostiima, Mr. Anand Somani, Trustee, Mr. Sunil Kala, Group Director, Mr. Rajiv Kansal, Director, Dr. Subhash Kakkar, respected faculty, staff members, and dear students. I, Pragya Arora, along with Chaitali Rotella, first year students of Fostiima Business School, would like to extend a very warm welcome to you on the occasion of Convocation 2022. A convocation is a momentous event in the life of the students and the institute. It is a moment when you all have transferred from the carefree days of student life to the corporate world of responsibility. For the Fostiima family, it is a very emotional and poignant moment. We all remember you as excited youngsters when you entered Fostiima and felt a huge tug in our hearts when you walked out of Fostiima 2 years later. It is indeed a great honor and privilege for me to welcome you all to Convocation 2022 of Fostiima Business School. Thank you for being with us today. May I request Ms. Kanika Bedi to give a bouquet to the chief guest, Mr. Suresh Narayan. May I now request our director, Dr. Subhash Kakkar, to declare the convocation open.
By virtue of the powers vested in me, I, Dr. Subhash Kakkar, Director, Fostiima Business School, declare the Convocation 2022 open.
Thank you very much, sir. I am now inviting a person whom we all have known very well. A person who, in spite of his onerous responsibilities, always had time for you and always had your welfare at heart. A person who always spoke his mind freely and spontaneously. Yes, you have guessed it. It's none other than our chairman, Mr. Anand Somani. May I now invite Mr. Anand Somani to address our students and bless them.
Hello and welcome to all of you. And a very warm welcome to Mr. Suresh Narayan. Before I get on to say anything, I must say that we at Fostiima Business School are indeed very grateful to Mr. Suresh Narayan. He's a man so full of humility, and we are indeed very touched by his humility. Despite his busy schedule, despite the pandemic fears, despite whatever difficulties he had, he very readily agreed to come here and be the chief guest on this momentous occasion of your convocation. So, before anything else, a big hand to Mr. And a very warm welcome to all the students who are here. My hearty congratulations to you on this momentous occasion, for the occasion of actually collecting your degree. And for probably and possibly for most of you, this is the last education and the highest education, like for us also. And so it is indeed a momentous occasion for all of you. As I stand here today, and as I have addressed all of you on multiple occasions previously, so every time that I come here, I have this challenge and I feel this, that what is it that I should say today? And because you're so used to hearing me often, and I know that for a teacher, for a person like me, it is indeed very difficult to come out with something new, something different every time. But today, I'm going to say something different than what I have ever said to you in the past. Because you're not my students anymore. You are today young individuals who are working very hard in the corporate world and driving the economy of this country to make this nation a great nation. So, first and foremost, as I stand here, I go back to 2007 when we started Fostiima Business School. And I still remember, and I can never forget, those 28 students who reposed their faith in us when we were in a nearly 500 square feet of space and we only had one passion to start Fostiima Business School. No campus, nothing at all, but just the people from Ahmedabad who wanted to do something for the students. And we had a dream, we had a vision, and we had this set of students to repose their faith in us. And I told them and I made a promise to them that well, don't worry at all, you're not making a mistake. Remember this fact that we'll make this into a great institution and you're going to thank me for that one day. And I'm glad to inform you that in this 15-year journey of ours, there have been, of course, many ups and downs, etc. There was a period when we were all so full of despair that we thought that, well, yes, we may as well slow down. But then we were resolute, we were committed, and we continued in our journey. And today you see us, it gives me immense pleasure to see all of you in this mode. And as our numbers are swelling each year, now we are almost 200 plus every year. And I think in times to come, we're going to be close to 300 students every year. So which is a good size, we are a good big size B school. But we have many, many more milestones to cross. And I'm sure we're going to do this. And I can assure you, and as I sit here, some of our faculty members are also sitting over here. We have unparalleled faculty at Fostiima Business School. They have their role, they have played their role in terms of mentoring you, guiding you, taking this business school to these heights, and they too are committed to make this into a great business school. So rest assured, I promise all of you students that our journey is not over. We're going to make Fostiima into a great brand, and it's going to be ranked in the not too distant future amongst the top business schools in the country. We have many plans to do that, and you are going to be far, far more proud of the fact that you took admission in Fostiima Business School. You passed out from Fostiima Business School, and all of you are doing so well in the corporate world. And of course, it is because of you. Like I always said to you all when you were in the institute, that it is the students who make an institute, not so much the management, not so much the chairman, not so much the faculty. It is you who actually make the institute. But I've often wondered, and I actually think many a times that you spent 2 years here at Fostiima. What is the difference that we have actually made in your lives? This is something which actually I think we often think, we debate, and we talk about it. That well, yes, the 2 years that we spent, all of you spent at Fostiima, has it really made a difference in your lives? And if yes, then what difference? Of course, one metric is that the feedback we get from the industry. And I must tell you that this feedback is really phenomenal. The Fostiima students are today recognized by the corporate world as resilient, at par with maybe higher ranked business schools like an IMI or things like that. This is the feedback we get from many of our recruiters. You are real value for money for the corporate world, and you are considered as a preferred recruitment option for many of corporates. So and hats off to you. Keep the Fostiima flag flying. I'm really, and all of us are really delighted when we hear these kinds of feedback and comments about you. But as we reflect, I want you all also to reflect about the 2 years that you spent over here. The friendships that you have made, the learnings that you gathered over here, has it really changed your lives? We've thrown a lot of, our faculty throws a lot of data, a lot of inputs, a lot of information to all of you. I wonder how much of it you actually catch. I know that it cannot be 100%, but even it is 60 or 70%, I'll be really glad that we've done our jobs well. And I want some inputs also from your end, that how we can increase this level of efficiency, how we can see to it that your learnings from all of us and from our faculty over here is much more than what it actually is at present. I remember when I talk of my college days that I am on the mark. And we say this with pride to everyone that we meet. The two of the best years of our lives we spent at IIM Ahmedabad. I don't know, and I'll be glad to know that if you also feel that way, that yes, your 2 years at Fostiima, the friendships that you built over here, are they going to last you a lifetime? Are they going to be with you? Do you still miss your friends? Do you still miss your college days? This is something I would really love to know. Do share this feedback whenever you can. I had a meeting with the IIM director the other day, and I just said this to him. कि सर आपका क्या चैलेंज है? आपके पास तो 99% टाइम का स्टूडेंट आता है. Challenge to हम लोगों का है when we shape the careers of 60 to 70 or 80 percentile students and we make them into a good corporate ready professional. So we are passionate, our entire faculty is passionate about building your careers, about grooming you, about shaping you and for your future. I hope we are successful. I hope you realize what we did. I hope you remember, and I want you to give this feedback. What difference Kakkar sir, Kala sir, or Somani sir made to your lives? Of course, many of you would have been scolded by me, but then you would realize today that it was all for your good. It was all for your benefit. That was the only single-minded intention that was behind anything and everything that we did over here. Last thing before I end is about your future. From here, you have a long corporate journey ahead of you. And the world is changing very, very rapidly. 2 years of pandemic have changed a lot of things. A lot of things, not only in the way business is done, but also it has changed the total global world order. The opacity about the origin of the coronavirus has shifted a lot of focus away from India. And actually, in the last couple of years, I see that almost everywhere, whatever is happening, for one reason or the other, India is at the center stage. So whether it is because of the obesity of the COVID or because of the vaccine, high percentage of vaccination in India, the manufacture of Convocation in such large quantities in India, or it is even in this Ukraine and Russia war, for some reason, the response of India, the stand taken in India, has somehow or the other brought India into center stage. And this is opening up tremendous opportunities for the Indian economy and also for all of you. One, of course, is that technology is changing at a very, very rapid pace. Every day there are new developments. You hear of unimaginable number of unicorns which are actually coming up in the country. There are so much of opportunity for wealth creation now. So it is important that all of you must stay updated with the developments which are happening globally in the tech world, in the digital world, and also in the corporate world. The name of the game today is innovation, innovation, innovation. And innovation, as we all know, has to be backed by critical thinking and design thinking. So design thinking, critical thinking, and innovation. If you imbibe these qualities in you, then I'm sure that day is not far away. Then one of you or some of you would create a unicorn yourself. And if I think about critical thinking, then what is actually critical thinking? It is basically working in the abstract domain, working in an area where there is insufficiency of data. So if you develop and hone your critical thinking skills and master them, I'm sure that you will come out with many, many innovative solutions to problems and do very well in your life and in your workplace. I cannot resist sharing a problem with you before I end my this thing, and which relates to critical thinking. And do think about the answer to this particular problem, as I have always shared with you in the past. That and remember, and this problem, everybody listen to this carefully. That this problem goes like that: list that in a boat there are 10 sheep and 14 goats. There are 10 sheep and 14 goats. If that is the situation, what is the age of the captain? So I repeat this question. This is a classic critical thinking problem. If in a boat there are 10 sheep and 14 goats, what is the life of a captain? And mind you, there is an answer to this. The critical thinkers of the world have found some kind of base answers to it. So do look for this. All right. So I think I'm coming to the end. There is one more thing I would like to say. There is a piece I would like to read out for all of you, because I just came across this piece and I thought I would read this out for all of you. And I have to look for my specs. And this is about education. That what is education? And there is this gentleman who's written, so everybody, I want you to hear what this gentleman has written. I am a survivor of a concentration camp. My eyes saw what no man would witness. Gas chambers built by learned engineers, children poisoned by educated physicians, infants killed by trained nurses, women and babies shot and burned by high school and college graduates. So I am suspicious of education. My request is that we, and we means you, me, and all of us, should first become good human beings. We must never become learned monsters, skilled psychopaths, educated illiterates. Reading, writing, arithmetic, all the other skill sets that we taught you and talked of a little while ago, they are important, but only if they serve towards making us more humane. So it's not only important that you gain knowledge, gather knowledge and do this. What is also important is that you should have empathy, you should have humaneness. Very, very important in today's world, especially in the light of the devastation which is happening in Ukraine right now. And I many times I interview students and I ask them like, what are your strengths, what are your skills, and I get all kinds of answers from my students. Somebody says I'm a good team player, leadership skills, perseverance, etc. But then I long to hear the answers like, well, sir, I'm honest, there is integrity in me, there is empathy in me. These are things, these are qualities which are at a premium. And these are qualities, and I think Mr. Suresh Narayan will agree with me, that these are qualities every corporate, every individual aspires for in their employees. I mean, these qualities, if we build in us, they are really going to help us in nation building and in our character building and also in our nation building. So that's all I had to say today. Good luck to all of you. Remember that remember the F in Fostiima, the F is for friends. When we started Institute in Ahmedabad, we were friends. We inculcate the same spirit in you. Once a Fostiimite, once a friend, always a friend for life. Stay connected amongst all of you and also with us. Do help us improve ourselves. Do help us in making Fostiima great. We are committed. We want you to be committed. Together we can make Fostiima great, and we shall make Fostiima great. Thank you. Keep the Fostiima bright.
Thank you, sir, for the rich insights you have given to the students. These will blend very well with the skills and knowledge the students have acquired at Fostiima. We are sure that the students are the rich of it. Now I may request Mr. Sunil Kala to introduce our chief guest, Mr. Suresh Narayanan.
Hello students, good to see these two batches after a long time. Very happy and privileged to formally introduce Mr. Suresh Narayanan. Mr. Suresh Narayanan has over 36 years of rich and exhaustive experience in the FMCG industry and has held several senior management and top leadership positions in global companies. Mr. Narayanan joined Nestle in 1999 as Vice President Sales, Executive Vice President Sales in India, where he spearheaded major structural and strategic changes in the sales and customer management. And most outstanding achievement was setting up of chilled dairy business of Nestle. He moved to Nestle Indochina in 2003 as Executive Director for Sales, Marketing and Food Services, covering the countries of Thailand, Cambodia, Myanmar, Laos and Vietnam. 2 years later, in 2005, he returned to Nestle India as Head of Sales for India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh and Nepal. Mr. Narayanan was Managing Director of Nestle Singapore from 2008 to 2010. During his time, the overall business in Singapore witnessed sustained growth amidst the economic downturn. You remember 2008, all of you? He was awarded the Medal of Commendation by the Government of Singapore in 2010 for excellence in employee relation during his challenging period. He moved to Nestle Egypt as Chairman and CEO and Head of NER, where his initiative resulted in significant business growth and investments, despite the turbulence and volatility faced by the region at this time. Mr. Narayanan was Chairman and CEO of Nestle Philippines prior to joining Nestle India in 2015. Mr. Narayanan was honored at the Forbes India Leadership Awards 2017 as the best CEO in multinational category. He was recognized amongst the most valuable CEOs in 2019 by Business World and also awarded Best CEO FMCG for two consecutive years, 2019 and 2020 by Business Today. CNBC Awards awarded Mr. Suresh Narayanan as the best performing leader for the MNC category in 2020. Mr. Narayanan was honored as the entrepreneurial CEO at EY Entrepreneur of the Year 2027. Under his leadership in 2019, Nestle India won the Best Governed Company Award for 2018 by Asian Center for Corporate Governance and Sustainability. Business Standard awarded Mr. Narayanan as the MNC of the year 2020. In 2020, Business World awarded Nestle India for Best Financial Performance in MNC category and also bestowed Purpose and Resilience Award 2020 and 21. Nestle India was awarded Outstanding Company of the Year by CNBC TV 18. EV18 India Business Leadership Award, and there are many more such honors are on this way. Thank you, sir. It's a privilege to introduce you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. May I now request our chief guest, Mr. Suresh Narayanan, to address the students.
Good afternoon, young friends. It's really a privilege and honor for me to be here today at the Fostiima Business School Convocation. It's the first time that I'm visiting this business school. It's delightful to see all of you from two batches. You've been hearing a lot of words, but you have to put up with hearing some more words in the next couple of minutes. So may I take the opportunity of thanking Mr. Anand Somani, the chairman of Fostiima Business School, and also Dr. S.C. Thakkar, the director of the business school, for being kind enough to invite me on this very important day in your lives. These are very volatile times. It's easy for people like me to start giving you advice, but it is for you to lead your lives, and it is for you to decide what you want to do with it. And therefore, I shall choose not to give you advice, but to give you perspectives, more based on my own experience, having worked for a long time, almost 4 decades of work across different companies, different geographies, different cultures. And hopefully some of this might give you some ideas for how you want to lead your life. Till now in your lives, you've had the benefit of a lot of advice from your brothers and sisters, from your parents, from your uncles and aunts, from your professors, from everybody around you on what you should be doing with your life. But let me give you a perspective. Life is for you to determine what you want to do with it. Ultimately, what you do with your life gives you the result of happiness and success, which you have to be happy with. Ultimately, it is not satisfying society, not satisfying every member in your family, not satisfying everyone associated with you. But more important, to satisfy your own measure of what you want to do with your life. Because you live in very volatile times. You live in very uncertain times. We've had 2 years plus of COVID. We still don't know. We still are masking ourselves. We have no idea as to how safe we will be in the coming years. The economic devastation has been intense. There is a war that is on. We don't know whether this is the beginning of another world war or whether it is going to be coming to an end soon. And because of this, there are numerous problems in economies, in industries, in geopolitics, in various spheres that will have its impact on opportunities for all of you. So, it's not to say, and my role as an elder is not to come here and tell you that everything in life is rosy. There will be thorns. All of us have been through thorns. But there are a few perspectives that might help you. And this is what really I would like to share with you. So I have what I call the 8 C's that I would like to share as perspectives that you might like to look at in your lives. But it is for you to reject it, or it is for you to embrace it, or it is for you to accept it. Because this is a perspective of a person. Let me begin by telling you that I have the unique privilege, I don't know whether you call it unique privilege or the unique misfortune, whichever way you look at it, is that unlike you, I am not a business school grad. So I tell you stuff that they probably don't teach you at business schools, because I never went to a business school. I went to the Delhi School of Economics and studied my master's in economics, wanted to be a bureaucrat, and ended up being a corporate executive. And here I am, 40 years on, talking to you as a corporate executive and not as a IAS officer or any other government bureaucrat. So remember one thing in life: don't fret yourself about planning every step. Accept that accidents, accept that serendipity, accept that circumstances are part of your lives. Don't try and play with it more than you should. And don't try and agonize about it more than you should. What you need to do, what I would suggest you do, is to make the best of it. If you have a lemon, make a lemonade. If you have an orange, make an orange squash. If you have an egg, make an omelette. But never sit and dream, I wish I had an egg when I have a lemon. Because what you have is a lemon. And you have to make the best of it. You can either throw it or you can do something with it. So accidents are going to be part of your lives. Learn to accept it. Learn to live with it. Because sometimes we come out victorious and we come out doing better than what we thought we would do. And that's the outcome that you need to work on. So what are some of these C's that I'm talking about? The first one is culture. You're all born to good families. You're born to families where there is education, there is aspiration. I presume, like me, you all belong to middle class families. I too was from a middle class family. My father was a government technocrat. And we had just about enough to live the day and just about enough for him to live in his retirement. We had no luxuries. We had nothing to call as profligate spending. We had to study. I had to take a job when I was 21. There was no luxury of sitting at home and saying, let me think about the future. You had to start paying your future because your father said, that's it. Beyond this, I'm not able to take care of you. But one thing my parents gave, which I think all your parents have given you, all your teachers have given you, is culture. Purpose and values in life. Don't forget it, my young friends. If you have the values of respect, of dignity, of humility, of ethics, cling to them. Don't throw them. Because the world around you is full of crooks and bigots, doesn't mean that you should follow the same path. Follow the path that is the path of your purpose and your values. And I can tell you, this world has enough place for decent men and women. I've always believed that whether you are the chairman of my company or whether you are serving me a cup of coffee in the office, you deserve the same respect as a human being. Same respect. Because ultimately, the journey that you will be joining would be the same. You will end up in exactly the same grave like the person whom you think is poor. And if you have the humility to accept that respect and dignity will take you far, choose the organization that gives you that. Most of you look at organizations from brand badges and from salaries. Take a look at what the culture of that company is. And is that the place that you would like to be? I'm told that 35 to 40% of Fostiima are young women professionals. Especially for them, I would encourage you. Work in an organization which treats you as an equal. that you are allowed to flower and you are allowed to do the things that is your caliber, that is your merit. An organization that recruits you because they think you are worth it, not because you wear a skirt or a sari. Those organizations are the kind of organizations I suggest you choose. They may pay you a little bit less, there may be others who pay you more, but in the long term, your foundations at a great organization will build for great expectations and great performance in the future. So culture, live to your purpose, live to your values, don't forsake it, don't leave it. That's the only thing in your life that is going for you. What you study and what you have as your culture are the only elements that last with you. Everything else comes and goes. The second, confidence. This world is all about confident people. This world is all about taking a confident stance. This world is all about people who want to do the best, but within the constraints of the culture that defines them. I would urge you to never forsake your confidence. And it also urge you not to forsake the self-introspection that you did. We forget it sometimes. We don't bother to introspect because we think it's not important. I'm very fond of dohas. And Sant Kabir is someone that I revere because what he said 700 years ago is as relevant today as it was when he first said it. Kabir's most famous doha is Bura jo dekhan main chala, bura na miliya koi. Jo dil khoja apna, nuksa purana. We all think that we are heroes. We all think that we are the greatest. We all think that the world is within us and we are confident. It's good to be confident, but it is good to have a self-introspective style that says, what is it in me that I need to improve? Because if you try to improve yourself, the team around you will try to improve itself. But if the leader of the team thinks that he or she is the best and nobody else around is even near, then everybody will have the same behavior. So have the confidence, but don't allow arrogance to take over you. The third, competence. Mr. Somani said this is the last big degree that many of you are getting. Probably true. But this is the time for you to utilize what you have learned in the job that you're doing. And let me tell you that 10 years from now, 15 years from now, nobody will bother which institution you passed out from. Nobody has ever asked me, where did I? Most of them think that I have passed out from Ahmedabad. I could have got admission there. What's important is the competence that you show on the job and the confidence that you have. In every job that you do, show your personal stamp of excellence. And don't have this thought in your mind that I have to do only big jobs. The corner office comes after a while. Unless you're a startup yourself and you become a unicorn or a double unicorn or whatever corn that you want to be. The corner office is not yours. Corner office takes time to get to. But what's important is to ensure that whatever you do it with your full competence and with your full capability. Because ultimately, great performance gets noticed. And you know what? When you do great performance, nobody looks back and says, where has this fellow done? What is his CGPA? How many degrees did he get? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. This is a passport to an entry. आपकी boarding pass आपके हाथ में है. इस boarding pass के साथ आप किसी organization या किसी company या किसी foundation या किसी business में आप entry पाते हैं. उसके बाद आपका मुकद्दर है, आपकी काबिलियत है. Nobody will say, why were you not maximum 6.9 CGPA, why were you not 8 CGPA? Nobody cares. But ensure that you build on competence every single day that you study. And I'll come to the theme that is important in competence. The fourth element, this is a value that your parents have given you, but unfortunately the real world kills it. And we don't allow you to exhibit and show this characteristic. If this characteristic were there in larger measure, we'd have greater companies, greater countries, greater leaders. It's called courage. Courage is the one characteristic that every organizational leader looks for in his people. And the higher you go, the more people keep telling you what a great man you are. I keep hearing every day people telling me, sir, aapke bina to company nahi chalegi. The question is, after I retire, whether anybody would look at me and say, sir, aapke karan kuch chali. Courage is that capability, that quiet voice in your head that says, there is another way of doing something. Courage is not telling your boss, तेरे जैसे गधे को promotion किसने दिया. That is called career limiting moves. And I hope you don't do the foolishness of doing that. Because nobody likes to be told that he or she is the idiot. They all think that they're very clever people. But if you quietly but firmly come across and put across your point as politely and as firmly as possible, then you win the day. Kabir said this beautifully. He said, "Aisi bani boiye, man ka aapa koye. Auran ko sheetal kare, aap ko sheetal." Learn to speak with politeness. Don't learn to speak with arrogance. Today's age, unfortunately, is about teaching you the opposite. जितनी गालियां निकालोगे, जितनी हाई श्रिल लैंग्वेज बोलोगे, जितने अल्फाज आपके बुरे होंगे, उतना ही आप पावरफुल होंगे. There is an alternate way. You will get more followers on Facebook, more likes on Facebook, क्योंकि आपकी जिंदगी तो Facebook like, अभी तो Instagram पे चले गए, तो Facebook कोई दिखता नहीं, right? पर जब Facebook देखते थे तो likes की बात करते थे ना, जिंदगी पूरी likes की है. Personal face-to-face dislike, but Facebook like. That's the way the generation gets defined. My recipe to you is to be personal, face-to-face likes. People like to talk to courageous people, but people like to talk to people who are also polite, who are also decent, who are also respectful in the way they speak. Learn to cultivate this in life. Initially, you'll find in your jobs that people will say, "बड़ा सीधा आदमी है." ठीक है यार, सीधा आदमी. लेकिन जो मन में है मैं कह देता हूँ. If you keep your system clean and if you keep your mind clean, you will achieve a lot more. Because people will know where you stand. And these first couple of years, you are positioning yourself like a brand. And remember, each one of you is a brand. Don't think that only Maggie and Nescafe and Kit Kat and Munch and Milkmaid are brands. You are a brand yourself. And your positioning in life is very important. What do you stand for? I stand for competence, I stand for courage, I stand for dignity of the individual, I stand for polite communication, I stand for empathy, I stand for whatever. Build on this because this will become useful for you later on in life. Don't neglect it. And therefore choose your friendships well in the organization and choose your partners well in your life. Many of us, you're all very young, you're not going to get married in a hurry. But I can tell you, great careers are derailed not because of personal incompetence, but because you have chosen the wrong partner in life. Something the other doesn't work, the husband or the wife doesn't work. And that can derail your life. Personal maladies can become bigger detractors to the future. So be careful, choose well, think well, and do things in proper time. Kabir said this beautifully. He said, "Dhire dhire se mana, dhire sab kuch hoye, mali siiche so bhara, rutu aaye phal ho." हर चीज प्रकृति में धीरे धीरे होती है. सबका वक्त होता है, 100 घड़ा पानी डालने से फल नहीं निकलते। जब ऋतु आती है, जब स्प्रिंग आती है, तभी फल निकलते हैं। So learn to have temperance in your life. Learn to develop patience. I know I'm talking to young people, and you say कि भाई बड़े बुजुर्ग तो यही कहते रहेंगे कि भाई have patience, have patience. But the fact of the matter is, sometime in life you have to decide and say, I will have the patience, because patience pays off. I've had a long career. Sometimes I have been promoted well, sometimes I have not been promoted. Sometimes it has been ahead of time, sometimes it has been late. कभी ब्रॉड गेज राजधानी में कर रहा था, कभी मीटर गेज को चलाया, कभी नैरो गेज माउंटेन ट्रेन पे आ गया, पर कभी पेशेंस नहीं, कोई नहीं। I said I will not lose self-confidence, I will not lose my perspective, I will not lose my values, because sometimes क्या होता है कि तुम्हारे values जो हैं they start conflicting. प्रमोशन तुम्हें नहीं आती है तो क्या होता है, जिसका प्रमोशन आया ना उसके ऊपर तुम पीछे उछालते हो, अरे यार वो तो बॉस का फेवरेट है, चाहता रहता है उसको क्यों मिलेगी। औरत होगी तो बॉस की फेवरेट है, ये इसका कुछ है। That is how life moves. And what happens? You get very jealous. ईर्ष्या के कारण तुम जल जाते हो। Welcome to the club of allergies, of heart attacks, of digestive problems, of ulcers. ये आपको मिलेगी भरपूर। ईर्ष्या से मर मर के मिट जाओगे। But you will not get your promotion because somebody else has got his promotion. तुम्हारे घर के रिश्ते जो है वो सब खराब हो जाएंगे। बीवी से झगड़ा करोगे या पति से झगड़ा करोगे, ऐसे केस पे भी बच्चों को टोकते रहोगे। लड़का बेचारा लेके आया है A+ ग्रेड, अरे तब वक्त वहां पे गया है A++ क्यों नहीं आई, राइट? How does it help? How does it help? Remember your one life. I'm telling you this from experience because many times you regret things in life. बाद में जाके सोचते हो, कभी ने कहा ना, अब पछताए होत क्या जब चिड़िया चुग गई खेत से, अब पछताए होत क्या। Many times you have careers, people say, अरे मैंने 24 घंटे काम की, 7 days a week मैंने काम की, बिटिया का पेरेंट टीचर एसोसिएशन मिस कर गया, डांस परफॉर्मेंस मिस कर गया, ग्रेजुएशन सेरेमनी मिस कर गया। Who's responsible? तुम्हारी जिंदगी थी भाई, तुम्हें संभालनी थी। You can't put the blame on somebody else. You can't say कि ये नेता के कारण मैं नहीं कर पाया। So choose this in well and do things with conviction. Conviction is as important as courage. डट के रहो, don't give up. Don't play these dirty games of blaming others for your misfortunes. Take hold of your life and say, I am responsible for what I am doing. And follow the principle that attitudes are contagious. Good attitudes are more important than just being brainy. कई बार you will see this 10 years from now in your own batch. People जो front benchers थे, वो front bench में ही बैठे रहे, जो last benchers थे, वो आगे निकल गए। It's not because grades are not important, it's because other characteristics in life are equally important. And in your generation, as it was true in my generation, the soft skills, communication, team handling, interpersonal skills, empathy are all going to become even more important. In the post-pandemic world, compassion is going to become the most important element of leadership. You will join a company if you think that the leader is compassionate and empathetic. कोई हिटलर की औलाद हो तो आप कहोगे यार मुझे ज्वाइन नहीं करना इसका। Why do great organizations have troubles? Not because of strategic things. Strategy सबकी ठीक है, दिमाग सबका है, सब IIM से पढ़ के आए हैं, सब Fostiima से पढ़ के आए हैं, सब IIT से पढ़ के आए हैं। Where they go wrong is in the way in which they empower and enable their people. They fall flat on their face, and you have toxic cultures, right? You have so many examples of so-called unicorns जिनकी यूनी तो निकल गई, बेचारे कौन ही बन गए। Not because their business models are bad, but simply because the way in which they run their companies is very, very toxic. Therefore, it is important that you have both conviction and compassion in what you do. Compassion is considered to be not so fashionable. लोग कहते हैं यार वो सॉफ्ट आदमी है बेचारा, गौ आदमी है. And compassion, when I was starting my career, used to be considered to be a feminine trait. कहते हैं यार ये compassionate है ना, औरत टाइप का है, ये मर्दों जैसे नहीं है. He's not a macho, in your face, slap you and go and get along. Compassion is the most prevalent emotion in human beings, but the least utilized. This is not said by me, it was said by the Dalai Lama. Compassion is what moves people. In my life, I have never missed a target. कभी मैंने target चुका नहीं. कभी नहीं चुका मैं. Because I believe that that is important. That is your corporate goal, you have to achieve that goal. But what I will never ever do is be less than empathetic and not compassionate to my people. किसी की तकलीफ होगी तो I will be standing there with that. In the last 2 years, I had more than enough opportunity for that. It pained me a lot to see the suffering of some of my people, but it gave me immense satisfaction saying that they had a father figure in this company to take care of them. Be compassionate. People will remember you long after you're gone. They'll say, be compassionate. He was a decent human being. And that is the greatest legacy of leadership. You will all be leaders. You will all become big leaders. You will all build great factories. You will all build great offices. As Larry Bossidy of Honeywell, who was the chairman, once said, you will never be remembered for all the factories that you built, for all the offices that you constructed, for all the profits that you made. You will be remembered for how you made the other man feel. That's what's important. So don't allow compassion. And the last 2 points, and these are controversial. Contentment. Contentment is a very important word in your life. You will try your best, you will do your best, you will go against the odds, you will achieve something. Contentment doesn't mean complacence. Complacence means, chalo theek hai yaar, jo hota hai so hota hai, Bhagwan knows. Contentment is when all is said and done, and I have achieved whatever I have achieved, I feel content that I have done my very best. That's all that you can do in your life. And here again, don't compare yourself with others. अरे यार मेरा बैचमेट जनरल मैनेजर बन गया, मैं तो यहीं तक आऊँ, जूनियर मैनेजर की पोस्ट में वो यहाँ पहुँच गया, यहाँ पहुँच गया, मेरा तो वो नेता बन गया, वो प्राइम मिनिस्टर बनने वाला है. ठीक है, सबका अपना अपना मुकद्दर है. Everybody has their path. Why is contentment important? Because you don't know the path the other person is going to. उसके कितने ऊबड़ खाबड़ पथ हैं वो आप जानते नहीं. You don't know it. What pain is going through, you don't know it. And you think everything is rosy. We sometimes think that to be an Ambani or an Adani must be a great thing. That billion paise jalate jao and you'll be burning money all your life. You don't realize what path they're on, what stresses they go through, what kind of compromises they make in their lives in order to lead the lives that they do. So contentment is important. And contentment leads to happiness. Contentment leads to that state, and in that contentment include others. Your generation, the reason why I admire you a lot and the reason why I am here to talk to you is because your generation is a more sensitive generation. You care about the environment, you care about people, you care about poverty. When I started my career, I only cared about the company, I cared about my first salary, and cared about the bonus. These are also important to you. I'm not saying that it is not important to you, but you care a little bit more about how society is treated and how things are happening. Develop hobbies in your life. Don't become a workhorse with no hobbies. Many of us cultivate some hobbies because it helps us to get our attention to other things and distract our minds to other things. I've seen many people who don't do anything else in life but work, work, work. 40 साल बाद काम खत्म होती है. Their health takes a turn for the worse because they have nothing to do. They're so stressed because जिंदगी में और कुछ की नहीं है. दफ्तर गए हैं, काम किया है, बीच में work from home हो गया. During work from home, some people could not manage it. One of my colleagues told me, "Sir, दिमाग ही नहीं चलता है." चलता नहीं है दिमाग. You have to go to the office and sit behind a desk. The same laptop behind a desk makes you think better, right? So develop some hobbies in life. Develop some interest in life. Don't allow your life to be a sterile path of only work. And finally, continuous learning. Continuous learning. Your generation is a generation where skills are going to get redefined every couple of years. My guess is every 5 years, what you have learned will become redundant. You have to learn a fresh set of skills. Because whether it is artificial intelligence, whether it is machine learning, whether it is digital, whether it is physical, the whole environment is changing so quickly. Even older people like me have to be contemporary in understanding what technology does. Otherwise, we'll be lost. We'll be lost. When much of my time is spent in trying to learn the technological changes that is going to involve the company. In your time, it will be even more. So continuous learning is going to be an important aspect of what you do. So culture, confidence, competence, courage, conviction, compassion, contentment, and continuous learning. I wish each one of you, and since I'm ready, I wish you the very best in your lives. I wish you the very best. To go through this journey, may this be fruitful for you, may this be happy for you. And may all that your parents, your teachers, and your loved ones, whatever they have hoped for you, I hope you're able to live up to the promise that you keep to yourself. Remember, the promise to yourself is more important than the promise to anybody else, because conscience is yours. सवेरे उठते हो तो आईना में अपना चेहरा देखते हो. If you can see your चेहरा and say, "This is me," that is a good start. Thank you all very much. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, sir. Let me assure you that your perspective, so rich in experience, has made a deep and lasting impression not only on our students but on all of us. We at Fostiima Business School certainly equip our students with the best of skills and knowledge, but it's only when the knowledge and skills are blended with sagacious advice and mature guidance that these students will realize their full potential. We have no doubt that this evening is one they are unlikely to ever forget. Thank you, sir, once again.
May I now request our chief guest, Mr. Suresh Narayanan, to initiate the distribution of diploma certificates to the students. Please note that for the distribution of the certificates for the senior batches 17-19 is advised to come row-wise. Same procedure will be followed by the batch 18-19. Please maintain the decorum.
Gagan Abhi. Kunal Mittal. Neeraj Kumar. Nitin Pandey. Prabhat Singh. Nitesh Shekhawat. Atul Sen. Ravikant Mehta. Shubham Chaturvedi. Aditya Kumar. Hemant Gupta. Vinci Garg. Rajan Nigam. Thank you, Mr. Narayan. May I now request Mr. Somani to distribute the diploma certificates to the students. Enjoy. Nikhil Kumar Mishra. Apurv Chaudhary. Shabuj Kanukar. Agent Kaushik. Amit Kumar Anand. Srishti Singh.
Next.
Anu Singh.
Anu Singh. Next. Akash.
Akash Bhuvan. Nikhil Banga. Reena Kumari. Madhavi Singh. Neeraj Kumar Gupta.
Vishal Gupta. Sakshi Solanki.
इसके बाद पार्टी के बाद ही मेरा
Bharti Yadav. Mohan Singh. Dushyant Rao.
हेमंत गुप्ता
Sumit Yadav. Abhishek Chaturvedi. Ganesh Jalal. Mohit Sharma. Simran Ahuja. Suyog Gupta. Yash Dwivedi. Harshit Pandey. Anu Singh. Riya Gupta. Hemant Gupta. Thank you, Mr. Somani. May I now request Mr. Sunil Kala to distribute the diploma certificates to the students. Sagar Jonwal. Jyoti Goyal. Shubham Singh. Ahuti Juyal. Shubhankar Tiwari. Nishan Gupta. Deepak Vijay.
Simran Arora. Nikita Kumari. Sagar Jombal. Jyoti Goyal. Shivankar Singh. Vishal Kumar. Nancy Sharma. Sushmita Kumari. Chandra Pratap Singh.
एक रो आगे पीछे हुआ है।
Tejal Agrawal. Tushali Singh. Priya Shishodia. Kundeep Kaur. Yogesh Chavna. Satyam Garg. Akshita Jain. Abhijit Manji. Sanjeev Pandit. Yogita Kapoor. Sonal Srivastav. Himanshi Gautam. Megha Thapre. Sonali Bandhi. Rohit Lohia. Shrishti. Niharika Gandhi.
Manjeet Singh, Urvashi Mathur, Ashutosh Rai, Amar Ghosh, Vaibhav Singh, Rahul Kumar Dubey, Sushmita Kumari, Piyush Mishra, Yatin Kalra, Rahul Pujari, Bharat, Akash Rathod, Mayur Srivastav, Abhishek Yadav, Amit Bhati, Rudra Pratap Singh, Shauri Yadav,
So much, Mr. Sunil Kala. Now we will start for batch 1820. May I now request Mr. Rajiv Kansal to distribute the certificates to the students. Akshat Srivastav. Aditya Rawat. Akshat Khare. Vatsal Mahajan. Ahana Kumari. Varun Tyagi. Shivam God. Saurabh Patel. Abhinava Parhi. Shashank Maheshwari. Mahesh. Ankit Trivedi. Himanshu Goyal. Shubham Mishra. Nitish Garg. Akash Rana. Vishwajot Singh. Yashvardhan Sharma. Nakul. Nakul. Sachin Kumar Sharma. Himanshu Premchandan. Gagandeep Roy. Sheetal. Jyoti Dhanjal. Arushi. Pallavi Mitra. Bhavna Jaiswal. Thank you so much, Mr. Council. May I now request Dr. Subhash Thakkar to distribute diploma certificates to the students. Deeksha Singh. Surbhi. Palak. Ravi Chaturvedi. Ravi Chaturvedi, Rishabh Gupta, Aditi Jaiswal, Raghav Goyal, Akash Rathod, Abhishek Rathod, Latika Malik, Diksha Thani, Nancy Jain, Suraj Katkar, Rohan Bhatt, Divyang Sejwal, Lakshay Bhateja, Kanika Goyal, Vikashi Chaudhary, Rishabh Mehra, Vineet Vikram, Siddharth Verma, Neelam Pandey, Shubham Jain, Sinha, thank you so much, Dr. Subhash Thakkar. May I now welcome Subhash Thakkar, sir. Priti Verma, Priti Verma, Priti Verma,
Next, please.
Prince, Fancy, Priti, Princey. May I request Princey to come over? Thank you. Akul. Thank you so much, Kakar sir.
I request everyone to be seated on their allotted seats. Thank you, Mr. Narayanan, Mr. Somani, Mr. Kala, Mr. Kansal, and Dr. Kakkar for awarding the diplomas to the students. This is indeed an occasion they will long remember. May I request our chairman, Mr. Anand Somani, to present a memento to Mr. Narayanan as a token of our thanks. Thank you very much, sir. May I request Mr. Rajiv Kansal to deliver the vote of thanks.
I would like to thank Mr. Suresh Narayanan for sparing his valuable time to be with us in spite of his numerous preoccupations. Sir, you have been a source of inspiration in Mark the Chuck Awards, and we wish to thank you for presiding over our convocation. We look forward to a long and rewarding relationship with you. I would also like to thank the entire Fostiima family who have worked tirelessly to make this evening a grand success. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. May I now request Dr. Subhash Kakkar to declare the convocation closed.
Hello, please. I declare the convocation 2022 closed.
Thank you, sir. You are requested to rise and remain standing till the academic procession has left the hall. Everyone is requested to proceed for collection of certificates followed by a high tea.